And we're going live. Going to share our screen. We're going to start off with a disclaimer for various reasons. The last YouTube video, we received a strike from YouTube regarding the use policy regarding not being helpful, being hurtful to people, or suggesting things that are not in best interest. So we wanted to have a disclaimer and restate the vision and the intent of our channel. PAR rosters are for educational and entertainment purposes only. They are not intended for real money wagering or any form of gambling. We want to make that very clear. The intent of this channel originally was for a side hustle. We wanted to basically pick out a domain, create a website, and make some content, pair it to a YouTube channel, and have the YouTube channel support the website and to drive traffic to the website. To do that, we created what we call a PAR roster, which is basically using information available on the internet for golf tournaments, and in particular for each individual golfer is given some probability of winning. And the easiest way to verify that is to go out to various websites that that have odds or salaries, or in some way or fashion rank golfers in a certain order by which the likelihood of them finishing in the tournament. We mirror that with our PAR rosters, but we use other additional statistical analysis, which have turned out to be much more we'll say prophetic, or more able to predict outcomes. This is what our channel's here for. This channel exists to teach practical digital skills, including website building, AI graphic design, AI YouTube content creation, statistical analysis. And the statistical analysis that we use is super involved. Standard deviations from the mean, using different statistical leverages. And we also want to emphasize side hustles, because this is what the intent of the channel originally. We have a sister channel that basically has content on how to create side hustles and to do things on the side. There's a lot of domain research and web content. Basically, we'll take you out to the twager.com website, and we'll show you how to create content, how to add content, how to basically create domains, suggest, or how to register domains. So we're going to go to GoDaddy and use that for our educational on that. The PAR technology, which is our pro analytical roster, is highly advanced. It is limited to non-profit fantasy play against friends and rivals only. All content is for learning and friendly competition. Please use responsibly. Thank you for your understanding. So with that being said, let's get this disclaimer out of the way. And the reason for this disclaimer, like I said, is we were having way too much success. In one of our videos, we were having 100 visitors per hour that were basically involved in the content and watching of our YouTube channel. So let's get forward from here. Um, Discussing our pro analytical roster. The next content test will be the Rocket Classic. And what we're doing is basically we're using statistical leverage to rate golfers, and we point out with no uncertainty that many of the models produced for websites are not correct. They basically, and we point out those liabilities, and we use this column here, column H. This, like I said, these rosters are free. They're available on our website. We are trying to drive content. We're not trying to make money. Eventually, since this website is about side hustles, we might eventually add a fee. But currently, this is an instructional YouTube channel. So do not use these rosters, even though we've had, I think, a lot of the strikes for the one strike that we had for our channel, which we've now corrected. We basically shut down all our videos and made them private because we did not want to mention any word that would construe that we are doing anything other than statistical analysis and proving basically that some websites have their statistical analysis is flawed. So we have corrected that. And the means of identifying that is through column H. Our pro analytical roster score is derived from a number of different statistical analysis, which we have pointed out before. There's a composite score that's created by all of the golf statistics that are normally we run 10,000 different simulations on this with various scores and ways of predicting scores, cut making, top 10 finish rate, avoidance of bogeys, greens and regulations, saves, sand saves, eagles, scrambling, course and weather fit per golfer. So each golfer is given a score, and it's based on the difference between the given scores that are provided by various websites and ratings and probability of finish. We are basically measuring how off that is and the likelihood that a golfer will be better than predicted. As you will notice, there's some blue and green here. The blue represents golfers that we feel are just like par, the lower the better. So if you're minus 1.3, you're better than a 0.09. So negative, there are negative scores. If you look in particular, the very first listed golfer, who is Xander Schauffele, is listed as minus 4.39. So we've selected that green because we feel like that's an extreme deviation from the mean score. There's a good scorer, Chris Gotterup. He's up 1.3. But then we have a couple scores in here that we feel are they're on the high end, so they're not valued. The players are likely not to finish as high as their rankings. Russell Henley is a good blue score. We have Patrick Cantley, and then we have another green score. Ben Griffin, in this particular model and using this statistical analysis, is a minus 11.8, which seems to be extremely a error in some of the various websites that we've mentioned before. They made an error in conducting his placement, and basically they rate golfers according to salary. And we can see through the salaries listed, they're in ascending order, meaning Cameron Young is the number one rated golfer. And as they go down through the list, the golfers become less likely to to be valued. Uh, this holds true. We find that oftentimes the most uh, golfers in the top of the list finish well. However, we point out that there are some miscalculations on their part, and we denote those in our rosters. Uh, if we see one that seems way out of the ordinary, like it stands out amongst the other salary ratings and people around, then we'll make a special note of it. Uh, Sometimes it's hard to rate green golfers when you're down in the lower half of the roster because the the model is not as accurate for prediction. So we kind of stay. You'll see that most of our ratings are in the top tier, top half, and the lower half. We often see a few, but more limited amounts. We do put scores for every single golfer, like I said, and there are some in here that probably should be noted. I will spend some more time on this and maybe make a few changes as we go. But this is the point of uh, some of our analytics. This is one here. Looks like Cam Davis. I haven't marked yet, but we would probably put that in green because it's way beyond the deviation for the other golfers around it. So from the mean, he is very outstanding. But you will see this in the lower end of these some of these golfers, and whether we make them green or blue, we just want to point out that you need to pay attention to column H. So if you download the spreadsheet, the thing that makes the most difference is column H. We'll take you out to our website for a second. So it has not been updated. We've been kind of backtracking because of all of the various issues that we've had to basically go back in and uh, make all of our videos private. We do not want to obtain another strike because, like I said, the purpose of the website is to be helpful, to teach people how to use standard deviation from the mean, how to use various because after these rosters are finished, we want to compare them to, we want to put them on a measurement for how well they are evaluating and how much better they predict than the models that are provided by various websites in placing golfers and handicapping basically how well they will finish. So, uh, the Spearman correlation is one method that we use. We also use the top 10 hit rate, the top 20 hit rate, and the mean error rate. So basically, all those statistical analysis go into rating how well our rosters have done. We compare that. Basically, those are in relation to as given roster information that are provided through various websites. This particular one came from DraftKings. I think we can mention that name without fear of reprisal or strikes. We feel like that strike that we obtained uh, could have been regarding our information that we provided. So, like I said, we are in the fantasy sports friendly, non wagering aspect of this, and we want to point out our new website and how we will be treating and the things that we'll provide, and that thus being the reason for the disclaimer. I'm going to keep this video short. We will come back. I want to take you out to T-Wager. We'll be uploading the latest par roster for the Rocket Challenge. Feel free to go out, pick up the roster, see how our statistical analysis works, compare it. If nothing else, it's fun to kind of watch and see if we are actually better at predicting than using. Basically, my background is in robotic process technology, which is the ability to go out on the internet and scrape all the information from that, bring it back into a file format, parse that information, and provide data and mathematical calculations and statistical analysis for that. So the artificial intelligence involved, the robotic process automation, and different things are used to gather the information into our PAR Pro Analytical roster, and it is used to rate with, like I said, the lowest score being the best. We take this roster. You will see on our website right now we have the last two events. The 3M and the Open were the last two events. The Open Championship will go away. The 3M roster will remain just for we keep them around until we actually post the next roster for the next event. But we post these year round. We are considering doing a yearly membership where you would basically receive a PAR roster in your mailbox. If you're interested in that, you can drop an email. But like I said, we're starting from scratch here. Our earlier videos we're somewhat production bound. We're new to the YouTube creation, not new to website design and building, and not new to artificial intelligence, and not new to a lot of other things in graphic design and using Grok and other artificial intelligence means for graphic design. However, YouTube channel creation is an addition, and we're working on providing better output of videos, and so we'll be producing more until we get it right. So, but we'd like to have our subscribers back that we lost. We'd like to get our channel back. We'd like to keep uploading these rosters. I know that there are a lot of websites out there that do not like our content because it basically shows the flaws and shows the inability of them to properly use statistical analysis. And that's part of why we want to teach that process to use statistics, how to gather information, how to use artificial intelligent robotic process automation, and how to design and develop websites using graphical interfaces and so forth, and how to upload content using. If you're looking at the website right now, you would see, of course, I'm using a WordPress, which allows me to sign in and make changes to the website. Uh, the Arrow, AIRO, is the artificial intelligence for WordPress, and basically I can tell it. Whereas before, many years ago, you had to learn HTML coding. Now you can just ask it, hey, can you replace the 3M roster button with a uh, Rocket Mortgage button? And it will do it for you. It will update graphics and so forth. It will change graphics so that it's a useful tool. Some people are interested in that content, and some people are interested in more of our statistical analysis, and they want to call their buddy and have friendly rivalries. They're more than welcome to use the roster for that. It's probably a little too powerful if you're not telling your buddy that you're using it, because, like I said, we've already got some very mad, uh, very large people involved that do not want to see this website stay up. However, we feel like what we're providing is useful. What we're providing is healthy, and it helps people develop. It helps. It helps in many ways to learn and to figure out how to navigate and how to do statistical analysis, and that is the intent of the website. So we're going to cut it off here. Thank you for watching. We will return. Our content will get better. It's shaky now, I realize, but as we become better content creators on YouTube, we will pass that on to you. Thank you very much.